Rapunzel is anxious to get out of the castle where she has been kept in quarantine since the beginning of the pandemic that took hold of her kingdom over a year ago. The castle doctor had determined that allergies were the pandemic that had taken over the kingdom. People couldn't leave their houses without becoming affected and passing it to others. Rapunzel makes a deal with her father that she could only leave the castle after her and Maximus both have and pass a test to check the microflora in their noses. This nasal microbiome may guard against chronic sinus inflammation and even allergies. It was the best hope the kingdom had so far to return them all to a normal life. What Rapunzel's father does not know is that his feisty daughter had her fingers crossed behind her back. She was leaving the castle no matter what. Unfortunately, Rapunzel did not know is that there is a plan to kidnap her. First things first, they have to make sure that Maximus fails his test, not because he had the allergies but because he can't complete the test. As the mighty Maximus waits in a small exam room, the door opens and a sexy scantily clad nurse walks in. "My oh my, what a large nose we have," she says with a seductive smile. "I need to give you a nasal smear test, but I don't believe a regular Q-tip will do the job. Lucky for me I brought just the right tool," she said with an ominous tone. She slowly produces a long thin stick from behind her back, and at the end of the stick was a fluffy pink feather. As she approached Maximus, she reminds him that the only way the test can be completed is if he is able to hold back a sneeze until she is able to get her sample. Immediately Maximus thinks about how much Rapunzel was counting on him. She had told him that she was going to leave the castle with or without him, and it was his job to protect her. "Now flare those big round nostrils for me so I can start the test," the nurse instructed as she slowly inserted her ticklish tool up Maximus's left nostril. Almost instantly an intense tickle spread up into Maximus's large nose. His eyes bulged out as they welled up with tears. She slowly twisted the feather around his twitching nostril. "Tickle, tickle, tickle," the nurse whispered into Maximus's ear. "Now remember, you must not sneeze." Unfortunately, the poor horse did feel a powerful sneeze beginning to build. "Ah!" came out of Maximus's quivering lips. He felt his nose begin to run as his eyes grew heavy-lidded. A goofy pre-sneeze expression came over his face. "Oh no, the poor horsey is looking all sneezy," the nurse said with an evil smile on her face. Max made one last attempt to hold back his growing sneeze, but it did little. As his large nostrils flared wider and wider, the evil nurse aggressively wiggled and tickled the feather aggressively around the inside of Maximus's helpless nostril. Sweat dripped down from the horse's forehead into his tear-filled eyes. His large nostrils flared wider than ever before as his nose ran and dripped. Arf. Max couldn't take any more, and the first part of their plan took hold when Maximus finally let loose a powerful sneeze. AAACHHHOOOOWWW.